A spectacular afternoon for two first-class ball clubs, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. And good afternoon, everyone. Kevin Harlan with Randy Cross. Everyone's talking about the running backs coming into this game. I know you are, too.
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of like women, children, and wide receivers to the sidelines today. This is some great running, some excellent offensive line play. Jamal Lewis, Priest Holmes, former teammates. Lewis still refers to Holmes as his mentor.
What else, Randy, has caught your eye talking to coaches and watching tape this week?
Well, Ray Lewis, the linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens, is it all about the run? No, they've got to be concerned with the passing game of the Chiefs. And as far as the Kansas City Chiefs go, the real difference maker the last couple weeks for the Chiefs has been Dante Hall in the kick returns. Brian Billick and his coaches have decided they don't want Hall to catch any of these kicks. They'll kick away from him whenever possible.
It's a little over 70 degrees, no chance of rain, a little bit of breeze coming out of the west at 9 miles an hour. There's sun right now. It should get cloudy later today as Dick Vermeil will be going for his 100th career coaching win in the National Football League. There's Brian Billick, who took this team to a world championship during the 2000 season. The kicker is Wade Ritchie, who is one of 3 kickers on this team, and he is used only for long field goals and kickoffs. And deep back for the Kansas City Chiefs will be the magnificent Dante Hall, who's had a spectacular season so far.
Well, Kevin, we'll get an early look here at Ritchie drilling this ball. It'll be to the right side to the corner or the left side to the corner. The last thing Billick wants is a deep kick down the middle.
A good early season game. The Chiefs and the Ravens, and here we go from Baltimore. From the 4-yard line, this will be Dante Hall, who is wrapped up and taken down near the 15-yard line, hit by Bart Scott, a reserve linebacker, and Chad Williams, a 11-yard return. Only San Diego's Drew Brees has thrown more interceptions among AFC quarterbacks. The Chiefs' Trent Green has thrown 4 the last 2 weeks. This is the highest scoring offense in the NFL, and guard Brian Waters is an emerging player on perhaps the best offensive line in the NFL. And Tony Richardson is like a lineman the way he blocks for Priest Holmes. Holmes playing with the hip flexor today. The Chiefs have 3 receivers, including Dante Hall, from the 15, and Holmes in the backfield, 1st and 10. Little play action, and it goes off to Holmes, who is wrapped up and brought down by Adelis Thomas near the 24. It is a gain of 9. Now the Baltimore defense called too small and too slow. Former Oklahoma Sooner Kelly Gregg has beaten all the odds to start on that front line. Linebacker Peter Boulware is a 3-time Pro Bowl player. Ravens have one of the top young safety tandems in the NFL with Reed and Baxter. Reed has played terrifically so far in just his 2nd season. 2nd down and inches. They got Richardson in the backfield, and he gets the call around a block by Tate, a tackle by Lewis, a gain of 4, and he's to the 27-yard line.
You know, Ray Lewis and this football team make very little bones about the fact they don't think this is a physical team in Kansas City, and they're going to try to prove that point today.
It's too much rain in here. It's too much rain in here today. What time is it? What time is it?
It is a 1st and 10 for the Chiefs at their 28 opening series of the game.
Does that speech come with pom-poms?
It should. Holmes in the backfield with Richardson. And a block by Rolfe in time for Green. Great catch on the far side by Morton. He was covered by Fuller. It's a gain of 15 yards, and they'll spot the ball at the 43-yard line.
Hey, for those of you out there that haven't seen the Chiefs much and say, who are the wide receivers in this so-called new greatest show on turf? Eddie Kennison, Morton on the outside, just guys that can run, go get the ball, and obviously from that catch you saw from Johnny Morton, have some excellent hands. It's the missing ingredient in this offense, though, is methodical, rhythmic passing from Green.
1st and 10, 5 defensive backs. Hall's one of the receivers, and the end around goes to Dante Hall. He's got a block from Waters. He got Ray Lewis out of the way, and out of bounds he is forced. 49-yard line of Baltimore. Ray Lewis pushed him out of bounds, and a gain of 7 on the play.
You know, Dante Hall has been a huge impact on the special team side, but every week he comes into the meetings on Wednesday when they start the game planning. Says he looks in the back of the playbook, and Dick Vermeil and Al Saunders have 8 or 10 plays that are in there just for him. That reverse, perfect example. Opening play, 3 wide receivers, split to the right side. When he's in the game, watch him because the ball's going to him.
Richardson in the backfield. Blaylock is a receiver, 1 of 4 for Trent Green, 49-yard line. Second down, 3 to go. Green going deep down the side, looking for Morton. Almost picked off. Incomplete. They're working on Corey Fuller again. The former Minnesota Viking and Cleveland Brown, incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd and a short 3.
This is all about position. The last place this corner Fuller wants to get beat is to the outside. He keeps outside position, and the ball is thrown in the perfect spot for him to knock it down, if not catch it. Good defense.
5 defensive backs. Terrell Suggs has come in on the defensive line for Baltimore. Priest Holmes back in the lineup for Kansas City. 2 tight ends. That's Holmes in motion. 3rd down, 49-yard line. And Green through the hands of Gonzalez. Incomplete pass. Coverage by Reed. And Kansas City's got a punt. Well, the Redskins won today, beating New England, and Steve Spurrier has done a nice job so far with that ball club.
Amazing what happens when you actually run the ball and play some defense now, doesn't it, Coach? You know,
the old ball coach.
He was going to fun and gun it and decided to just kind of go Stone Age here in 2003, and it's worked out fine.
Jason Baker's averaging about 43 yards a punt. Gets the high Gannon snap. And deep back Lamont Breinful, who will call for and be allotted a fair catch back at about the 16-yard line. It is a 33-yard punt. There is no score. The Chiefs give it up. Baltimore will get it for the first time on offense. Chiefs just got the opening kickoff, and they had to punt. This is Baltimore's first possession with Kyle Bowler as their quarterback from the 17-yard line. Chiefs in their base defense. Heap is a wide receiver, 1 of 2 tight ends in the game. 1st and 10 for Bowler. Handoff goes to Jamal Lewis, wrapped up by Maslowski up near the 19-yard line for a gain of 2. Kyle Bowler is a rookie, the 19th pick in the 1st round. The Ravens traded up in the draft to get him. Today his 4th career start. Protected by this offensive line, Edwin Mulatalo back after missing last week with the knee injury. And fullback Alan Ricard is one of the top blockers in the NFL, who scored last week on a fumble recovery, running 50 yards for a touchdown. Randall Brown starting at right tackle today. 2nd down and 8. And Bowler flips it out. Screen pass with Mulatalo blocking. This is Jamal Lewis. And keeps on his feet. And finally brought down by Wesley near the 43-yard line. It's a gain on the screen pass and run of 26 yards and a Baltimore first down.
Perfect execution by Bowler. Watch the release of the offensive line on the left side. Look at the wall. Flynn's out perfectly. Mulatalo's out perfectly. And if you don't get ahead in front of Jamal Lewis and you don't wrap your arms, he's going to make you look like a bunch of Cleveland Browns. Because 2 weeks ago, that's exactly how the Browns didn't tackle Jamal Lewis all day.
That's the longest pass this season by Baltimore. Yeah, 295 the other day against the Browns.
But don't be surprised. When you talk about being the longest pass, you're going to see Kyle Bowler stretch the field down the right side, down the left side, 8 in the box for the defense. He's going to go down the field deep today.
Deep is wide to the near side as a receiver. He plays tight end, 45-yard line. 1st and 10. Play action by Bowler. And he's going deep. He's looking for Heap, and it's picked off at the other end of the field. Grabbed by Wesley, and the Chiefs defense has produced yet another turnover. As Wesley makes the grab, that's his 2nd interception of the season.
And Todd Heap gets up kind of limping on that play. Watch the legs get tangled. Perfect execution and catch by Wesley. Dick Vermeil was worried whether or not his strong safety, the big hitter, could play. Well, we know the big hitter is healthy and he can catch.
Slamming into the East Coast after the turnover, the interception by Wesley. 1st and 10, 7-yard line. Pitch out to Priest Holmes, who was tripped up and brought down across the way by Kelly Gregg, who's the nose tackle. It is a gain of 4 as they continue to work on the leg of tight end, Pro Bowl tight end Todd Heap.
See that little strap you get underneath a knee like that? When I was little, I had something called Osgood slaughter. You know, it's where that patella tendon comes down into your leg. Pressure on your leg always helps anything related to your patella tendon.
Pace 34 defense for Baltimore. Second down, 6 from the 10. Play action by Green. Pocket crumbles out to Richardson. Chased by Lewis and brought down near the 18-yard line. Ray Lewis on Tony Richardson. That's a gain of 7 yards.
You know, we mentioned Ray Lewis earlier in the beginning of this game, Kevin, and he is pivotal against this type of a team, and not so much from an emotional standpoint, not so much from a schematic standpoint, but he is going to be matched up with Priest Holmes a lot. He's got to be the old Ray Lewis against this team. You can't sit and watch. You've got to blow and go get that running back, go get that ball. It's too fast to the offense to just sit around and watch.
18-yard line, 1st and 10. Richardson in motion. Bo Richter, receiver. And off Priest Holmes, who ran into his blocker, Will Shields. Wrapped up on the play by Ed Hartwell. Loss of 1 on the play. And Randy, in the first 8, 9, 10 games of the year, you see so many different things early in a game by a team as they try to establish their offense. For instance, today now, what will Kansas City and Dick Vermeil try to do in the first, say, 10 plays of this game on offense?
Well, number one, Dick Vermeil wants to get the Baltimore defense out of the 8 guys in the box mode. They want to get Priest Holmes out of their head, and they want to start putting in some passing into their head, and that'll open up the running game.
Second down and 11 from the 17-yard line. Here goes Green being chased, almost picked off, incomplete, knocked away by Ray Lewis. Ed Blaylock is one of a couple receivers in the vicinity along with Eddie Kennison. It'll be 3rd down and 11.
You know, when you talk about this linebacker, watch how Ray Lewis plays this play. He drops back, he's in his hook area, but then he just sort of freelances when he sees the quarterback move, almost gets himself an interception. I'm not sure who he affects more, his own teammates or this crowd in this stadium.
6 defensive backs for the Ravens. 3rd down and 11. They got Blaylock and Gonzalez in the backfield. 3 receivers, including Bo Richter. And Green to the side. And looking for Bo Richter, incomplete, covered by Fuller and by Tom Knight. And Kansas City cannot cash in on the Wesley interception. They've got to punt the ball again.
Football games, especially early in the season, Kevin, turn into a lot like they are kind of like playoff time in December or so. They turn into field position contests. They're not always just kind of big offensive blowouts. And in a field position sense, Kansas City did their job. They got a 1st down. They moved the ball out.
Jason Baker to punt. Lamont right first. Be back. Almost blocked. It was deflected. Adelis Thomas is the one that got in there, knocked the ball awry, and it's down at the 29-yard line. Adelis Thomas is one of the great special teams players in the NFL. 3 special teams tackles last week and a huge play here early in this game.
Not only does he lead this team in special teams tackles, watch what he's doing right here, 96, straight up the field. No one even touches him. You want to talk about a special teams blown assignment and just a vapor lock for the punt team for Kansas City. Excellent execution by Adelis Thomas when nobody touches him.
This kid has caught this team by surprise. He's played on the defensive line. In fact, he's already played 5 different positions in a game this season. 29-yard line, 1st and 10 for the rookie bowler. Jamal Lewis finds a gap, grabbed by Ryan Sims around the waist and hauled down at the 24, picks up 5, 2nd and 5 coming up.
See, I mentioned that the Baltimore defense doesn't think that Kansas City's offense is real physical. Well, the number one goal of the Kansas City offense is to put it in the Baltimore's offense is to put in the Kansas City's defense's mind that the offense is a lot more physical. And the offense for Baltimore is all about one thing. It's about pounding you with number 31 with a great big offensive line that's the largest in the NFL.
Heap is back in the game. It is 2nd down and 5. And Jamal Lewis grabbed by Mazeroski and brought down 17-yard line and has a 1st down and a gain of 7 on the play. Lewis so far has run well.
When you see Jamal Lewis run, Pay attention to how many yards he gets after he's tackled the first guy. The first guy comes to tackle Jamal Lewis, how many more yards? I mean, he was being tackled. He still got 3 yards as he was going down.
Chiefs stay in the base defense, first down and 10. Receivers include Sanders. Along with Robinson outside, the run goes to Jamal Lewis on first and 10, a loss on the play of 3. Forcing him out, Sean Barber among others. The last 2.5 games, the defense has forced 5 turnovers and scored a touchdown, with Bonnie Holiday and the defensive line providing a push, which keeps linebackers like Scott Fujita, who had 15 tackles last week at Houston, and setting up the secondary at cornerback Dexter McCleon. He had an interception fumble recovery last week down in Texas. Second and 13, and the ball is at the 19-yard line. Chester Taylor in the backfield with Lewis. He gets the call. Here comes Chester Taylor. He's more of a slasher. Grabbed by Browning at the 16-yard line and a gain of 4.
Yeah, I know when you talk about this Baltimore Ravens passing game, it's natural to speak about the quarterback Kyle Bowler, the rookie, but Todd Heap is unusual. You know, Tony Gonzalez for years was considered the tight end in this league. Last couple of years, Jeremy Shockey comes to New York, who I think is highly overrated. But Todd Heap is the closest thing to a wide receiver playing tight end that there is in the league since Gonzalez's first couple of years.
5 defensive backs for the Chiefs. They bring in Trueluck on the line, 16-yard line, 3rd and 9. Bowler, screen pass caught by Chester Taylor. He gets a block from Will Tower, caught from behind by Browning, and he should have a first down near the 7-yard line, depending on the spot. And Browning came from the defensive line and caught up with the scat back to make the tackle.
So you're inside the red zone now. What does that mean if you're playing the Baltimore Ravens? That means you're right in their wheelhouse. You're right where they want you. They want you to bite on runs. They want you to look at Jamal Lewis. They want to pound on you with that big offensive line. Then they can either run it or hit you with play action.
All eyes definitely coming into this afternoon's game on number 31. They're that shy for a first down. Almost a full yard. But like you said, Randy, there are other components to this game.
I'll tell you what, I don't think much of that spot. The way they got that one down there, I thought he was down closer to the 12-yard line, not back by the 13.
4th and 1. Try a field goal or go for it here.
In this situation, I think you go for it. Worst case scenario, you get up there and just bark and try to pull him off. And Greg Robinson, I'm sure, has got that note to his defense.
Chiefs have gone back to their base defense.
Remember how high Jamal Lewis can jump. Don't think he's all about power. Those legs can get him off the ground, too. He can get some altitude.
Back nose of the football is on the 8, and that will be our spot. 4th down and a yard. We've got Lewis and Ricard in the backfield, a couple tight ends. Taylor on the move. The pitch out to Lewis. Oh, and he slipped. He lost his footing and goes down. McCleon touched him and made it official, and it just looked like he lost the footing, and so on downs. Greg Robinson's defense hold, and Kansas City gets the ball back.
Well, folks, there is such a thing as trying to be too cute. Good example.
.com or on AOL. They held him on downs inside the 10. Kansas City gets it back. First down and 10 from the Kansas City 9. They go outside, caught by Gonzalez and grabbed by Ed Reed. Nice tackle. He's out to about the 12-yard line, picking up 4 yards on the play.
Now the whole idea, obviously, people are thinking inside. Why not just get Jamal Lewis on a quick flip? You're going to isolate this side of the defense and seal it off. Quick flip. Jamal Lewis trips. Pursuit's coming from the inside. And Dexter McCleon is exactly where he's supposed to be, but I think you're much better just staying within your personality, slamming it inside and making it on a defense you can run on.
Baltimore has gone into the nickel. It is 2nd down and 6. This is Priest Holmes. Terrell Suggs had a hand on him. He just checked in the game. Then once again, Ed Reed is right there with the stop, but not after he gets a gain of 5. And Holmes will now make it 3rd down and 1. And the ball will be at about the 17-yard line.
Kevin, something kind of interesting there, though, was a good run defense by Baltimore. When Kansas City got into that last set, when they finally snapped the ball with all that shifting, they had 3 wide receivers on this near side of the field, and they only had 2 defenders over on that side. I think they were a man short. Keep an eye on that for later on.
4 defensive backs. More people on the line, including Douglas, Thomas, Gregg, and Weaver. It is 3rd and 1 from the 18-yard line. They got Kennison on the move, and Holmes in the backfield, and Priest Holmes with the block from Redmond. Can't find much room on the side. It was grabbed by Gregg, among others, on that line, and there was not much of a push. He'll be close to the first down. Got to get to at least the 19-yard line.
You know, in the starting lineups, you mentioned Kelly Gregg, and Kelly Gregg is a Dick Vermeil kind of ball player. You know, he is all about hard work and all about effort. And this young guy right here, not the prototype size-wise, but he's the prototype heart-wise. Nice job of stuffing Casey Wigman. He's got nowhere to go, and he just holds him up long enough to get a little help from the backside.
Randy, with all the confusion Kansas City causes on offense, how important is defensive communication today on the field for the Ravens?
Well, I don't think it's as important as knowing this offense you're playing against. There's only a few basic things most offenses in this league do. If you get too distracted by the window dressing, it can be a real problem. Ray Lewis and his defense been looking at tape all week long. They think they know this offense, and so far, I got to agree with them.
Well, the Chiefs don't get it. They're going to punt. Remember last time, partially blocked, a deflected punt by Dallas Thomas. Rifle is back. They've got Jason Baker back at about the 5 to 6 yard line to punt the ball away. His personal protector is Blaylock. Kendall Gammon is the experienced center. He snaps it back. And this one is away, and Brightful looking up into the Maryland sun. Loses it inside the 15 and on a bounce gets it back. He got a block. Blaylock slowed him down, and Monty Beisel along with the guy that snapped at Kendall Gammon down there to get him. A 16-yard return, 54-yard punt. Let's take a look at Lamont Brightful. Chiefs have had it 3 times, 3 consecutive punts, one of which was blocked. The young rookie quarterback Bowler has thrown an interception already in the game.
Yeah, that's a formula right there. That disparity in where you're getting the ball is a formula for an upset.
9-yard line after the Kansas City punt. First down and 10. End around, and comes to Travis Taylor. A block by Flynn. Chased by Warfield and run out of bounds. Nice gain near the 45. Picks up 16 yards on the play.
Anytime you get a defense reacting that fast on the linebackers and the defensive backs, this is the perfect play to come back with. Nice call by Matt Cavanaugh on the sideline, the offensive coordinator for the Ravens. Good reverse, good running. We got to see so far if this young kid can hit some passes, though.
First and 10. He's already thrown a pick today to Wesley of Kansas City, 45-yard line. Bowler with some play action. Quick toss, caught by Taylor. Quickly tackled on the play by middle linebacker Mike Maslowski, 47-yard line, gain of 7 on the play. Last time the Ravens had it, they lost it on downs inside the Kansas City 10. Second down 3, 47-yard line. Deep on the move. And Bowler outside, caught by Lewis, had to jump at it, breaks a tackle in Warfield, then brought down by McCleon and Sean Barber. It's a gain of 6 and a first down to the Kansas City 43-yard line.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine when you see Jamal Lewis move the way he does. This is a 245-pound running back.
Yeah.
245 pounds doing this. Zip. See you later. Defensive back, had him in the sights, zeroed him in. Suddenly no more target.
Right tackle is Orlando Brown. He and Ethan Brooks will be switching series to series. 43-yard line, first and 10. And off to Lewis. That guy as he went in the middle. They had Downing in there. They got him off the defensive line, gain of 1. Remember, we were talking to him yesterday. He was talking about some of his off-season workouts and a new thing he tried this spring that really has helped his game.
Well, he added boxing. And it did 2 things. It slimmed him down. He's not a weightlifter. It gave him some upper body strength as far as all the push-ups and body work that's involved. And the other thing came out of it is it gave him a huge respect for boxers and the work that they've got to do and the condition that goes into that sport.
Second 9, 42-yard line. Hand off to Lewis. And he just again kind of tripped. He didn't really get touched. Fujita was right there. Downing again was right there. Trueluck was held. It's no gain on the play.
Well, I think what you have to look at here, Kevin, watch Edwin Muatalo. Number 64. He wasn't touched by anybody from Kansas City, but he was touched. Mulatalo's, 350-ish offensive guard on about a 6'2 frame. And Brian Billick's running back looked like he ran into a little wall, which basically he did.
So the highest scoring offense in the NFL has been held scoreless in the first quarter. These two teams in first place, the Chiefs tied with Denver in the West, and with Pittsburgh's loss, Baltimore alone in first in the North. At the end of one, a scoreless game from Maryland. The NFL on CBS. You start the second quarter in Baltimore with Randy Cross, Kevin Harlan. Chiefs unbeaten coming into today 3-0. Ravens have won 2 consecutive games. It is 3rd down and 9 on the Chiefs' 42-yard line for the rookie quarterback Bowler. Ricard and Taylor in the backfield. Here comes Trueluck in the pass outside, caught by Ricard. Grabbed at the 41. Maslowski on the tackle, and a gain on the play of about a yard. It's 4th down, and Baltimore has got a punt for the first time today.
For those of you watching and keeping track of Baltimore here and their offense, and you say, well, why the heck do you throw a little swing pass to a fullback on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9? They ran all their other receivers way down the field. Bowler had no other choice. And Zastudil in, watch him directionally kick to avoid Dante Hall. He'll dump it into the left corner.
Hall has raised his hand. He wants a fair catch, and that's what he is allotted near the 11-yard line, a 31-yard boot. So good job by Zastudil. That's part of the strategy today by Baltimore. NFL on AOL. After the punt, on the 11-yard line, 1st down and 10. Holmes in the backfield. Green making his 36th consecutive start today. Throws outside, another diving catch by Morton. Knocked down by McAllister. He's out to the 16-yard line in consecutive punts.
Well, not much offense, but look on the bright side. You've seen some pretty good defense, especially from Baltimore.
Nothing to Kennison yet. 16-yard line, 2nd down, 5. Kennison on the move. Holmes in the backfield. Base defense. Priest Holmes grabbed by Craig. Brought down there around the ankles by him. Helped out by Tom Knight. Gain of 2 on the play. 3rd down and 3.
We came into this game saying, hey, how about the running backs? I warned you about the defense, though. This defense thinks they're getting back towards that dominant division. There's the okay division, there's an average division when you rank defenses, and with the youth and the exuberance of this defense in Baltimore, Ray Lewis, for one, says this can be one of the better defenses, if not the best in the NFL, and he's very, very aware of Tampa Bay.
6 defensive backs, Suggs on the defensive line, 3rd down, 3, Green to Holmes. Grabbed by Ray Lewis, his former teammate here, is to the 23-yard line, and on 3rd and 3, they pick up 5, and they'll move the chain.
Did you notice how fast Holmes got up off the ground and walked back to the huddle? Because he knows what's coming after that tackle from Ray Lewis. There's going to be some lip. You're going to have a little yapping going on. I mean, Ray Lewis talks to fire up his teammates. He talks to fire up himself, and he talks to get an effect out of the other guys. And Priest Holmes said he was going to kind of go out of his way to try to avoid as much as possible.
After converting their first 3rd down today, it's 1st and 10, 23-yard line. Holmes in the sideline. They got Richardson in the backfield. There goes a flag, and here goes the pass, which is incomplete. Looking for Blaylock. And it'll be with Terry McCauley's signal there against Kansas City in the game's first penalty.
It's always a good thing when you don't see a flag for this long in a football game.
Illegal formation, offense. Number 77 was on the end of the line. Penalties decline, 2nd down.
Holmes will come back in the game. Free agent here, played and actually started in the Super Bowl team back in 2000.
Oh yeah, but what's he done since they sent him here? That's all. There's a lot of ones there. It's a career so far in Kansas City. The stuff that promotional legends are made of.
It was declined, so it's 2nd down and 10, 23-yard line. Green's going to call a timeout. Walk to the side. He sees something in that defense he did not like. He stayed in the base 34. As Green told us last night, the defense here is different than anything he's seen so far this year. third straight week the Chiefs have seen this 34 defense.
Well, the reason Trent Green says it's different, you know, Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator, is a 4-3 guy, so he's kind of spices a little bit of both. It's kind of a hybrid.
23-yard line, second down 10 after the Kansas City timeout. Green dumps it off. Richardson, did he have it? It's loose, incomplete. What a stick on the play by Ed Hartwell. And Ray Lewis right there with great defensive presence.
Well, if you have any questions about this defense, remember last year, all the injuries they had, and they had to play a lot of young guys, and they were looking for leadership. Ed Hartwell was the leadership. The young guys are now all experienced. Even the second-year players have starts. And Ed Hartwell is asserting himself of anything. He's not as good as Ray Lewis. He can hit, and everybody listens to Ray when he tells them what to do.
6 defensive backs. Third down 10, 23 Holmes in the game. And Green to the side, caught. And grabbed for a first down. Johnny Morton has made his third consecutive great catch today, a gain of 19 yards. Working on Williams on the side, and the Chiefs get a first down.
Remember for years when it was 1 foot, or 1 foot in college, you see the drag? Watch both legs go dead. Ball, legs, drag, excellent.
Sensational
Look
catch.
at this.
Third diving, leaping catch he's made today.
1, 2, drag. Folks, you wonder about veteran wide receivers. Why do you have them on a football team? Exhibit A.
42-yard line, first and 10. Base defense for the Ravens. Holmes in the game, gets the call. Grabbed by rookie Jared Johnson. And driven back, way back. He's a rookie out of Alabama. Their all-time sack leader in a fourth-round pick and a loss of 4 on the play. They'll mark it to the 38.
Well, if you want to do business against the Baltimore Ravens and you're Priest Holmes, I guarantee you one thing, Brian Billick's defense isn't giving up a lot inside there. That's where the big boys live. That's where the inside linebackers are. And that's where Priest Holmes should dabble, but not dwell too long.
4 defensive backs. Second down, 13. Chiefs at the 38. Richardson on the move. Holmes in the game. Green. Here comes Greg. Bringing him down. Sacked on the play. Back at the 35. That's the first sack today by Baltimore. And a loss of 4 to the 35.
Number 97 working against Nate Wegman, Kelly Gregg, the man they call Buddy Lee, because he looks like the guy in the jeans commercial. Just a quick rip, a quick separation, nice drive. Say this Baltimore defense right now is putting on a clinic, and they've got this crowd all over the Kansas City Chiefs.
Terrell Suggs on the line. 6 defensive backs, including Dempsey and Williams. Holmes in the game, 3rd and 17. Little screen pass, caught by Priest Holmes, a block by Waters. Great move on Dempsey. There goes Holmes, close to a first down near midfield. But shy. He ran out of real estate. Douglas was over there along with Fuller. Gain of 15. Chiefs have got a punt for a 4th consecutive time.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, both these running backs will kind of make you hold your breath, though, don't they?
Yes.
I mean, you think you got them stopped, and Priest Holmes is getting nothing on the run, and give him a little flip pass, and he suddenly almost turns that into a 20-yard gain.
Baker had one blocked earlier in the game, the first career block in his time with Philadelphia and San Francisco. And Brightfield with the catch at the 15-yard line. And grabbed by Bo Richter, who tripped him up near the 25-yard line. 11-yard return and a 35-yard punt. Johnny Morton has had a great first half so far, snaring 3 receptions. That's the gorgeous Inner Harbor here in Baltimore with Randy Cross, Kevin Harlan after Kansas City's 4th consecutive punt. 1st and 10, 25-yard line. Dump off of the tight end heap, grabbed by Maslowski, the linebacker, and Warfield on the corner, 30-yard line, gain of 6, and premiering tonight on CBS.
The cold case also applies to this Kansas City Chief offensive playbook right now.
Second down and 5, 30-yard line. It's Jamal Lewis. Grabbed and brought down, hit by Scott Fujita. He had a 15-tackle job last week in Texas. It's a gain of 1 to the 31-yard line.
I like what Brian Billick and Matt Cavanaugh offensively are doing with Kyle Bowler. they're really not limiting what he can do, but since that interception, Bowler is 5 of 5. They're giving him things to build on. And when you have a young quarterback, you sometimes have to get a little greedy. You got to stretch the field. But other than that long pass, they've given Bowler a lot of things he can do and passes he can complete.
Base defense for the Chiefs, 3rd down and 4, 31-yard line. The short drop and the quick throw heat. Nice defense on the play by Woods. No yellow on the field. Woods with a spectacular job on the Pro Bowl tight end out of Arizona State, Todd Heap. And Baltimore's got a punt for a 2nd consecutive time.
I tell you what, that very well could be pass interference. At least that's what the 70-odd thousand people here in the striped shirts think. Well, the arms, early. Hey, it's a defensive back against a tight end. It's only fair.
Call is back, yes.
Remember the directional kicks, Kevin. Going to the corners, not giving him what he can handle.
Zaskedil the punt. And with 5 returns in the last 8 games for touchdown, here comes Hall dancing. It's by Demps. Down he goes. He was really knocked down by Adelis Thomas, who has already deflected a punt today. A 39-yard punt as they lock in the electrifying Hall.
Kevin, as long as we're handing out attaboys and way to goes, how about Gary Zahner, the special teams coordinator here in Baltimore, and the job these special teams have done in field position, blocks a punt, and containing Dante Hall.
27-yard line after the Baltimore punt. 1st and 10, Green right to work and looking for Richardson. Followed by Reed, banged into by the 32-year-old quarterback Fuller, out of bounds, 36-yard line. Close, make it. You got a 1st down, gain of 10. 4 times, 4 punts, one of which was partially deflected. 38-yard line. It's a 1st and 10. Base 34 defense by Baltimore. Ball's in the backfield. Dante Hall is in the game from the 38. They floated on the side, working on McAllister. It was caught by Morton. Was he in bounds? Yes, he was at the 46-yard line. A 16-yard reception, his 4th catch today.
4th catch, but that's his 2nd circus effort. I mean, 16 yards just perfectly down the field. He's got 4 catches for 56 yards, and talk about a sense of place. Does that guy know exactly where he is on the field and exactly when he's got to get those feet down?
Dante Hall, one of the 3 receivers. Baltimore's 46. Holmes in the backfield. Base defense for the Ravens. It's Holmes on 1st and 10. Finds a gap and squeezes through past the 35. He's brought down by both Baxter and Lewis. It's a gain of 12. Let's go to New York and Jim Nance. And Baltimore playing well against San Diego last week. San Diego, Granny, has lost 5 consecutive road games. Going back to last year, 1st and 10, 35-yard line. It's Holmes slashing his way past the 30-yard line. Brought down by Lewis. It's a gain of 9. It'll be 2nd and 1 at the 26-yard line of the Ravens.
You ever see one of those cake decorators? You know, they put the icing on the cake with. You kind of squeeze it out. It's real big at the top and real small at the bottom. Think of this defense as kind of like a funnel. And you're going to see Priest Holmes go through the wide end and try to squeeze through the shallow end. See the wide end? There's a shallow end. He just sort of squirts through there like something coming out of a tube of toothpaste.
One tight end. 2nd down 1. Baltimore's 26. Holmes again. He's playing with the hip flexor today. He tries to dive his way into the teeth of that defense, held by Anthony Weaver, among others. In the middle, he's near the 25.
He's had a hip flexor his whole life.
It sounds like. But he heard it and didn't practice on Thursday.
It's not really an injury. It's fatigue. You know, here's a guy that was on crutches and wasn't really bearing weight on that leg for a long time when he had his hip fixed. And the hip flexor muscle was just sort of fatigued. It wasn't quite firing right.
It's 3rd and 1. A couple tight ends. Holmes and Richardson in the eye. 25-yard line of Baltimore. It's Holmes again. A punt from Gonzalez that springs him free. And that is a 1st down run. He is down near the 22-yard line and tackled on the play by Marcus Douglas, a gain of 5. Chiefs running back Priest Holmes suffered a strained right hip last season against the Broncos. And then this was earlier this season, week 2 against Pittsburgh. Eerily similar tackles.
Very, very similar. And in reality of the situation, like I said last week when we did the Chiefs game, this guy is going to miss some days of practice. It's going to be sore. It's going to take him a while. Next year, full speed. This year, I don't think so.
Blaylock is in, 1st and 10 from the 21. Green hit as he throws, and it's dropped by Blaylock. grabbed on the play by rookie Jarrett Johnson. Anthony Weaver in his face. 2nd down and 10.
But you know, Kevin, you talk about this injury to Priest Holmes and his style. He made a point yesterday I thought was very interesting. Something a veteran would only bring up and a young guy wouldn't. He says, I do mental reps. I do a lot of visualization. He goes, I can physically right now, you know, say I'm 75%, maybe 80%. But visualization helps me mentally get ready to play. I can do just as many things and not have the wear and tear on my body.
Blaylock is in. Hall is in. 2nd down, 10. They drop that baby dead in mid-motion with the flags and the whistles.
False start. Offense. Number 88. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That is the first penalty. Last one was declined. This one is accepted.
And this is the point on the field. If you're a defensive player for Baltimore, you want your crowd to start going crazy. You want them to just bring the noise and make it as hard as possible and get a little home field advantage.
4 defensive backs, 34 defense. 8th play of the drive. 2nd down, 15 from the Baltimore 26. Green, good time. Slings a pass to Kennison. Catches. Tackled by Lewis and by Baxter. 16-yard line, gain of 10.
That's Eddie Kennison's first catch today.
It is. He caught a touchdown pass last week down in Texas.
Yeah, it's one of the things an offense like this makes it so difficult is they can spread it into a whole different group of people. And when they get down in the red zone, this is a team that knows how to close the deal. They can finish you when they get down here. They're the best in the league right now.
They score a touchdown, you're right. Every red zone appearance. Unbelievable. 3rd down, 5, 16-yard line. Extra defensive back in there against Green. Here comes the blitz. It's a loose ball and a fumble and picked up by Jason Dunn. They brought Baxter on the side. Are they going to call it incomplete? It is a fumble. It is a loss of 12.
Pressure from the outside. Quick blitz by Baxter right under the arm. That was not a pass. Perfect timing. And if you're a Kansas City Chief fan, you're going to say to yourself, well, thank goodness Jason Dunn was all the way out there. But if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan, I think you got to be saying, man, that defensive staff from Mike Nolan on down have done a masterful job, and they've been stopped in the red zone for the first time this year.
46-yard try by 43-year-old Morton Anderson is in, and the Chiefs are on the board. So Dunn gets the fumble. The Chiefs lose 12, but they stay within Morton Anderson field goal range. Morton Anderson just nailed a 46-yard field goal. And the Chiefs are on the board for the first time.
Is that kind of like shooting your age in golf if you can kick one as long as you are alive?
Lamont Brightful is deep back. Jason Baker will kick off. And Brightful will be in the end zone and leave it there. Ravens will take over at the 20-yard line. Here's Anderson.
Almost shooting his age. I like that. Another couple years, he'll still be in the league in 3 years. He'll be able to kick a 46 at 46.
First down and 10. The pitch out to Jamal Lewis with Jonathan Ogden throwing a block on Woods, who still pushed him out of bounds. The gain is to the 28-yard line, a gain of 8, 2nd down and 2.
I've got to point this out because this is something that utterly amazes me. You've got a left tackle, Jonathan Ogden, all-world, all-pro, all-everything, right there. Jonathan Ogden, number 75, is 6'9", 345 pounds, getting out and blocking on a corner. What is going through a cornerback's mind when he sees Jonathan Ogden coming? Your life flashes before your eyes.
2nd down, 2, 28, base defense for the Chiefs. Ricard and Lewis in the backfield. Ricard with the block, and Lewis will drag Hicks with him for 3 yards past the 30-yard line and for a Raven first down.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about it. In fact, we saw David Carr last week, Kevin. We speak often about when should a young guy play if he's a quarterback. And the perfect scenario is, I think, what Brian Billick's got going on here in Baltimore. You've got Jamal Lewis. You've got a big physical offensive line. You can just sort of wean him along. You just sort of bring him along slowly with this kind of offense. 2 tight ends, 31-yard line, 1st and 10. Bowler with the play action.
Winded up and thrown to Heap on the side. The Pro Bowler's got the first down, galloping down the side. Knocked out of bounds by Wesley and by McCleon. He's out of bounds at the Kansas City 37. It's a gain on the play of 32 yards for the Baltimore Ravens as we approach the 2-minute warning.
Remember, after he caught that long ball or missed that long ball, he's going to come from the left side of the line, lined up at tight end across the field right here. He caught that one when he was at way out wide left. It turned out to be an interception. We haven't seen him get down the field much more often. Young quarterback, young tight end. Get used to seeing that combination.
2-minute warning. Pass to his tight end, Heap, 37-yard line of the Chiefs. 2-minute warning, first down and 10. Baltimore with 3 timeouts. Good block by Ogden. Screen pass for Lewis. Chased by Sims. Breaks a Fujita tackle. Brought down by Maslowski. In by Hicks. It's a gain of 6, and the ball spotted at the Kansas City 31.
You know, Kevin, we're talking about this offense. There's Matt Cavanaugh right there, the offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. He and Brian Billick have done such a wonderful job with this young quarterback, and you're starting to see a little bit of the fruits of his labor. You know, Matt says this young guy now is getting to the point where he kind of finishes his sentences for him. He can start calling a play, and the young quarterback can actually finish it. It's amazing how far this guy's come in a short period of time.
Second down, long 4, 32-yard line. Base defense for the Chiefs. Nice tackle made by Eric Hicks on the line. That's the first Baltimore timeout taken right there. And a gain of 1. 2 first-place ball clubs going head-to-head, and Anderson field goal the difference in the game so far. Third down 3, Kansas City 30. There's defense for the Chiefs. Lewis and Utah in the backfield. Play action by Bowler. Hit and cut down by Gary Stills. That's the first sack of Bowler today, and Stills notches another. That may have taken him out of field goal range as Stills gets his second sack of the season.
Well, you know, just about the time you praise a young quarterback, there's an example. The young guy's got to find a way to get rid of that and not lose that territory. Still, bottom of the screen, 55, Jamal Lewis. Oh, that was a whiff. I take it back, Kyle Bowler. You never had a chance. The running back didn't even block for you.
So it is 4th and 14, the loss of 11 on the set. Zastadil will punt. And Hall waves it off and takes a Kansas City bounce back to the 15-yard line. That punt of 25 yards. And a 6-yard field goal for Morton Anderson. Wesley has an interception on the defense. Baker's had a punt deflected. That's Green's story today.
Well, the Baltimore defense has turned a masterpiece into basically finger painting for Kansas City. They've regressed.
Draw play handoff, 1st and 10 from the 16. Lewis along with Baxter make the stop on Priest Holmes. That was the big story coming into today. Holmes coming back. Gain about 6-7 yards on the play. Mark it up to the 22-yard line. Timeout. Kansas City burns their last timeout so far. Well, the Chiefs, Randy, have had games where they've had over 40 points 2 straight weeks. What's happened this afternoon?
Well, they've also had games where in the first halves they haven't really scored a whole lot of points. If you'll remember last week, you know, it was 7-7 till late in the first half, and they were down 17-7 to Pittsburgh. So, you know, if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan, enjoy what your defense is doing, but understand that the team Brian Billick's defense is going against offensively can really put points up on the board quick. The last thing you can do is relax. The last thing you can do is ignore technique. The last thing you can do is pick a bad time like this not to tackle properly.
6 defensive backs, second down 4, 22-yard line. 4 receivers deployed by Green. He fires a pass to the near side, caught by Johnny Morton right in front of Fuller. We knew they were going to work on the 32-year-old Fuller today. Out to the 40-yard line, gain of 18 yards on the play in a Kansas City first down.
Yeah, I know I'm not the only one in America that watches football that absolutely shudders and hates it when a defense softens up at the end of a half or end of a game and you can just march the ball down. If you've been stuffing them, keep on stuffing them. Get in the receiver's face and smack them. Don't give him a 10-yard pad.
6 defensive backs, no Hall on the field for the Chiefs. First down and 10. Green goes underneath, caught by Gonzalez, racing to the sideline and belted out of bounds by both Knight and Lewis, and the completion to the 48. It's a gain on the play of 8 yards. Chiefs with no timeouts. Gonzalez running out of play to stop the clock at 36 seconds.
You're about 15 to 17 yards from realistic field goal range for Morton Anderson. Morton Anderson is going to need 50 yards right now, is I think about his max in this situation. This is just like kicking at home for him as far as surface and conditions.
Second down 2, 48-yard line. Here comes Suggs. Good block on the side by Tate. Green going deep, looking for Kennison, incomplete. Covered by Baxter on the side.
Well, you don't draw that up any better. When Trent Green gets to the film session tomorrow in this situation, he's gonna just sort of flinch a little bit when you come to this play, because Kennison did a very nice job of running that route. He was open, and Green couldn't hit him. And Dick Vermeil right now has got a situation at 3rd and short that is just begging for a blitz from the defense.
Holmes in the backfield. Bo Richter, Kennison, Gonzalez, and Morton, the receivers. Morton's had a big first half. Here comes Chad Williams on the blitz, and there goes the pass. Incomplete, looking for Kennison. Covered by Fuller at about the 40-yard line.
Man, Green had to get rid of it. Simply put, good defensive call, good defensive execution by Baltimore, and again, Kansas City moves it, looks good, but can't close the deal. A half of frustration for Kansas City and a half of very good execution for the Baltimore defense.
And we thought this game would give us more of a litmus test on the Chiefs. Are they for real? They need to beat a good team on the road and beat this tough Baltimore defense in their home yard. Baker to punt, Rightful back at about the 10-yard line. Shallow punt, and will be inside the 20-yard line and down by Beisel. Just outside the 20. Officially at the 21. 32 yards.
Were there any complaints this week about Ricky Williams being overworked last that Monday night?
43 carries.
Only 43 carries. Think he got out of bed a little slow Tuesday morning?
Bowler will go to a knee, and that'll take us to the end of the first half. Anderson with a 46-yard field goal for the Kansas City Chiefs. But the top offense in the NFL held to 4 punts in their first 4 possessions. A rugged start for Trent Green. That's the end of the first half. The Chiefs 3, Baltimore nothing. Coming up next, the Nextel halftime report after this message and a word from your local CBS station. Scoring offense in the NFL held to 3 points by Ray Lewis in the first place Baltimore Ravens. We're back after this from your local station. Football, here are some of the numbers.
Defense, and more defense. Look at Kansas City, average field position on their own 13-yard line. I mean, if you want to game plan against a good defense, or against a good offense like Kansas City has, and your Baltimore's defense, best case scenario, your special teams are playing great, and you're giving them the ball on the 13-yard line. They got to go 87 yards. It's absolutely perfect, and it's been perfect so far for Baltimore. They're trailing in this game, but this is their kind of game. Keep it close, and then get them late.
That's Jason Baker, and as he sets to kick off from the 30-yard line, Lamont Brightful is back for the Baltimore Ravens. Well, did you expect 3-0 at halftime? I don't think anybody.
Absolutely not. I mean, what we expected going in was a pretty good duel between the running backs. Holmes was 68 yards. Lewis was 60 yards. No Hall really in the special teams at all.
Second half is underway, and Brightful working into a bright sun at the 2-yard line for the Ravens. Grabbed by Blaylock, slowed up, and then finished off by Stills and Beisel and Caver. At the 22-yard line, 19-yard return. Let's go individually now for the Baltimore Ravens.
And the word leader really does apply to the rookie quarterback, Kyle Bowler. He runs this offense well. Jamal Lewis, I mean, that's the key. If Baltimore's going to win this game, hang late and get Kansas City, it's going to be because Jamal Lewis runs it. And when they have to throw and they get the ball to Todd Heap.
No changes. Orlando Brown continues to play right tackle for the Ravens. He had been shuttling series to series up until today. Jamal Lewis breaking free into the secondary, tackled by Wesley, 36-yard line, gain of 13 yards as he bangs the first one right up the middle.
Now the most important blocks are right back here. Mulatalo and Ogden going on the back side. See, watch the crease create. There's the crease. There goes Lewis. If it looks familiar, folks, the Baltimore Ravens have kind of taken a page out of the Denver Broncos playbook with the emphasis on that backside blocking, popping a running back like Lewis late.
35-yard line. It's 1st and 10. Jamal Lewis again. He squeezes way in there. Sims, Maslowski, Browning make the stop, gain of 2, out to the 37-yard line.
Yeah, Kevin, if you're going to emulate anybody from the standpoint of blocking and techniques, why not emulate Denver in the way they've managed to, under Alex Gibbs, their great offensive line coach, use undersized linemen and do a great job blocking. And there's nothing undersized about Jonathan Ogden or the rest of this offensive line, but they also move pretty well. That's why they're able to emulate those techniques.
47-yard line, 2nd down, 8. Bowler outside the Heap. Oh, what a tackle made by Warfield as he sends Heap head over heels at about the 39-yard line and a gain of 2.
I know you said things in your life where as soon as they come out of your mouth, you go, oh, man, or you've done things and you said, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Well, Todd Heap's saying right about now, what? That wasn't quite a good idea, trying to jump right there.
How much of this offense does Kyle Bowler right now work with?
You remember Mr. Yanagi, the old movie star guy? Pat Morita played that great character. Well, they've taught him everything he knows. He doesn't know everything Kavanaugh and Billick knows yet, though.
3rd down and 6 outside. Screen pass, Jamal Lewis fighting for a 1st down and has it up to the 47-yard line. Flag is thrown. Maslowski and Warfield make the stop. Gain of 9 as it stands right now. So you think Bowler is, so if he knows the playbook, how much is he playing? Of 100%, where is he right now?
Well, I mean, of everything they're giving him, I think he's got just about everything, but it's probably 60% of the offense.
Face mask, defense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Yeah, I mentioned Jonathan Ogden, the big left tackle, a couple times so far. Look at the battle between he and Vonnie Holliday, the free agent acquisition from the Green Bay Packers. Wow. That's how a rookie quarterback turns into an 8-year quarterback pretty fast physically. He might not know all the offense, but he took all of that hit.
1st and 10, base defense for the Chiefs. Lewis and Ricard in the backfield, 47-yard line. Play action for Bowler. Out to wind up, has time, he's got to get to the 38-yard line. And there he goes, swinging for a 1st down to the Kansas City 33. A scramble of 15 yards, another Baltimore 1st down as his dad, Bob Bowler, watching up in his suite.
You know, young Kyle Bowler, since that interception deep down the sideline at the very beginning of the 1st quarter, is 9 of 10. Why do you pick a kid like this early? A lot of reasons you can't really quantify, and one of them is leadership. Another one is the ability to make something out of nothing. That was making something out of nothing using your feet.
Chester Taylor in the backfield. 1st and 10, 33-yard line. This is Taylor, and he finds a seam, and now he's off to the races and chased by Wesley. Inside the 5 and down to the 1. A career-long 32-yard gallop by Chester Taylor 2 years out of Toledo.
Sometimes it's onside, but once again, good blocking on the backside of the play opens that up for Chester Taylor. That was just short of the end zone with the ball as he goes down. Watch the ball. Watch the pylon. It bounces into the pylon. His derriere. 2 cheeks and a ball short.
2 cheeks equal an ear, right? 1st and goal at the 1. Lewis back in the game. Couple tight ends. It's Lewis hurtling into the end zone. And Baltimore's got the lead on a 1-yard touchdown run. A flag is down. A flag is down. It's against Baltimore. Wipe away the touchdown.
When it comes from the outside like that, it's usually holding on whoever lined up on the outside of the line of scrimmage. Holding on a linebacker.
Holding, offense, number 82, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
It's Terry Jones, one of the tight ends in the game.
Working out of that right tight end position. But that's the one thing the linesman on that side has to look at.
1st penalty against the Ravens today. Couldn't have come at a worse time. Brian Billick, 5th year with the Ravens.
Right there.
Now it's 1st and goal back at the 11. First defense for the Chiefs. Play action by Bowler. To the end zone and the toss. And drop and almost intercepted by Wesley. Already has an interception today. They're looking for Travis Taylor. Incomplete. 2nd down, goal at the 11.
Remember I talked about what abilities you look for in a quarterback? The ability to make something out of nothing. The ability to really be a leader. How about the ability to stick a ball in there with good zip and velocity, and it gets there before the receiver really knows what's going on? Frank Sanders should have had that. He didn't expect it to get through clean.
Taylor was there as well, but you're right. Sanders was the intended receiver.
I mean, he had such zip and velocity on it.
2nd and goal. 11-yard line. Jamal Lewis. Blocked by Ben Anderson. In a rugged game, the tackle made by Woods and by Barber. Gain of 6, 3rd and goal.
I'm impressed with that last play. I mean, there aren't a lot of quarterbacks that come into this league at that age that have the confidence to stand back there and deliver that sort of a pellet in that situation in the red zone against a pretty good defense. He put that through a porthole, and it should have been caught.
4 receivers. Heap is on the move. Taylor in the backfield. 6-yard line. 3rd and goal. And Bowler going to run in, being chased by Maslowski. Crushed at the 2. Fumbles the ball. It's loose. And it is recovered in the end zone for a touchdown. Flag is down. A flag is down. It's against Baltimore. A 2nd touchdown is wiped out.
Again against the Ravens. Illegal shift.
These are the first 2 penalties of the game on the team. And they're both wiping out Raven touchdown.
Illegal shift. Offense. 2 men moving prior to the snap. Did not reset. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
You know, really, when you're moving people around and you're in charge of that and you're the quarterback in this league, that's part of the job description. You've got to be sure that first guy is set before the second guy moves. It might be the other player's fault. Now that's Heap in motion. I couldn't see the second player moving. Be honest with you, I didn't see the penalty.
So 3rd down again, 3rd and 11. At the 11, 3rd and goal. Bowler, a block from Brown. And Lewis was twisted around, couldn't even get his eyes on the ball, and it's 4th down. They're going to have to settle for 3, and the Kansas City defense does their job. 2 penalties on Billick's offense. Wipe out 2 separate touchdowns.
Well, I guess if you're an optimist, you'd say Greg Robinson's defense did the job.
That's one way to look.
Or if you're a pessimist, you could say they got a heck of a lot of help from the Baltimore Ravens.
This will be a 29-yard try by Stover. 5th all-time in field goal percentage. And for the tie, now it's 3 apiece with about 5 minutes gone here in the 3rd quarter.
Why do coaches have ulcers?
So the Ravens today have had it 4th and 1 at the 8, and they've also had it moments ago, 1st and goal at the 1, settling both times for just 3.
Don't forget directional kicking. Great job so far by the special teams.
Ray Ritchie with the kickoff, and the ever-dangerous Dante Hall from the 10. Blocked by Baber. Brought down by Ron Johnson. And Raymond Walls from behind after a 13-yard return. Baltimore's kick return defense, #1 in the NFL. Have just tied the game at 3. The ensuing kickoff, the Chiefs' 24-yard line, 1st and 10, first, second half possession. Holmes in the backfield. Dante Hall is in the game. 2 tight ends. Dunn is on the other side. Morton has had a big day, big first half. One of the receivers, and there goes Priest Holmes, brought down by Hartwell. He's out to the 38-yard line. He picks up 14 yards and a Kansas City first down.
We'll go back to that motion penalty. Todd Heap is going to be in motion. Watch the running back right here, Chester Taylor. See that? Chester Taylor, the running back, move forward as the motion was happening, that was 2 players in motion at the same time. Excellent call by the officials. Bad move by the Ravens.
Holmes today, 62 yards. Lewis, 44 yards. 1st and 10. Fake end around one way. They give it the other way. And here goes Johnny Morton with a escort. Waters with the block. Morton keeps his footing. And then Lewis brings him down. A sensational run in what has turned out to be his best game as a Chief. A 37-yard end around by Johnny Morton, and the Chiefs are at the Baltimore 26-yard line.
Now you're worried about Dante Hall. You say Dante Hall is going to run a reverse. Everybody react. Whoop. Wrong receiver got the reverse. Johnny Morton takes the shortest distance between 2 points. Doesn't make very many jukes, very many moves. Just uses his speed. And Baxter, the starting safety, is dinged.
Nickel secondary now for Baltimore. Holmes in the game. 1st down and 10, 26-yard line. Holmes, a block by Wigman, tackled by Ray Lewis and by Tom Knight. And a gain of 4, maybe 5, depending on the spot. And he's near the 22-yard line.
You know, in for Baxter is Will Demps. Remember I mentioned earlier, Kevin, about the young players with the experience? You know, you get a guy like Baxter hurt, excellent player. Who do you replace him with? You replace him with a Will Demps who started 14 games last year. So that's what that struggle last year on defense has really paid off so far for this Baltimore defense in 2003, is they have a lot of experienced younger players.
Base defense, 2nd and 6, 22-yard line. A fake to Holmes, who offers a block, and here goes Green. He's got to get to the 16 and taken down. And Boulware is the one to get him. Marcus Douglas got a hand on him as well. Gain of 3 running up the middle. And they'll spot the ball at the 19, 18-yard line. Some of the offensive leaders for the Chiefs today. The passing of Trent Green.
I'll tell you one thing about these guys. If you're an offensive leader for the Chiefs, you got a few lumps on you. Johnny Morton's the only one that's really done some high, serious damage. Everybody else has paid the price physically with some serious smacks.
3rd and 2, 18-yard line. Nickel defense out there for the Ravens. A pass caught by Dunn, tumbling inside the 5. And he's down to about the 3. It's a strike of 15 yards for Dick Vermeil's tight end, Jason Dunn, working on McAllister on the play. 1st and goal, Kansas City.
Well, the book on Dunn in the league is going to be, hey, look, wherever 89 is, that's where the ball's going to be run to. Might be a new book coming out about Jason Dunn. Got his first touchdown reception a couple weeks ago against Pittsburgh. And did I mention the ability to gun it into a tight spot being important?
Donald Willis, a tackle eligible. Holmes in the backfield, 3-yard line, 1st and goal. Holmes trying to slither in, and he is close with no signal given. And shy. It'll be 2nd down and goal, and they had all kinds of people, including Marcus Douglas, who makes the stop on the line.
Well, the important thing to me is, does the ball get over? And how do you go from that yard line, the 5, to the goal line? That is some good physical running, and I think that ball was over before he was down. I think it was over the goal line.
2nd and goal.
Is the knee down? Where's the ball? Nah, maybe just short, right where they have it marked.
3 tight ends, Richardson and Holmes. Play action by Green into the end zone, wide open. Tony Gonzalez has his first touchdown reception of the season. And the Chiefs are back on top, leading for a 2nd time today.
And just like we talked about earlier, Kevin, you've got so many talented players here. You've got a run-blocking tight end catching passes. You almost forget about the pass-catching tight end, Tony Gonzalez. And evidently Baltimore forgot about him because nobody covered.
The extra point by Anderson gives the Chiefs their biggest lead today of 10-3. And you can see it's been a while since Tony G has found the end zone. Dick Vermeil looking for his 100th career coaching victory. Helped by the Gonzalez touchdown reception. Highest scoring team in the NFL, just getting their first touchdown, 10-3. Tony Gonzalez just lassoed a 1-yard touchdown strike by Trent Green. Green's 4th touchdown pass of the season.
Hardest part about that one was not dropping. He was so wide open.
Lester Taylor from about the 6 or 7 yard line for Baltimore. Lyle West has got him wrapped up at the 32-yard line. That's a 26-yard return by Chester Taylor. Tony Gonzalez and Toddy, two of the best tight ends in the NFL, going head-to-head today. Capped off a 7-play, 76-yard drive engineered by Trent Green. Touchdown pass to Gonzalez, 10-3, the Kansas City Chiefs. Subsequent kickoff, Baltimore takes off with a 33-yard line, 1st and 10. And here comes Downing. Grabbed by Sims. Flag is down. Sims and Downing combine on great pressure on the rookie quarterback. But the flag, it's against Baltimore again on their offense.
Holding. Offense. Number 78. Penalties decline. 2nd down.
Sims gets his 3rd sack of the season.
I want to look at that touchdown one more time to Tony Gonzalez. Here's Williams. Here's Hartwell. Here's the umpire. I think the umpire had him, but nobody else in a purple jersey really reacted to Tony Gonzalez going out for a pass. We don't know the huddle call, but I'm sure that wasn't right.
2nd and 15, no, not at all. 28-yard line. Treluk is in there along with Stills in the defensive line. Outside it goes to Travis Taylor. Works into Warfield, knocked out of bounds by Maslowski. It's a gain of about 7 yards, and it will be spotted at the 35-yard line of Baltimore.
Now you're in a 10-3 game, and your Baltimore Ravens is still sort of in your, like I said, in the wheelhouse. This is still sort of in your style of game, but Brian Billick teams, when they lose the turnover ratio, are 1-23. And right now they're -1 to the Kansas City Chiefs. So they need to hold on to the ball, and they need a couple turnovers if they want to win this game.
43 defense for the Chiefs. 3rd down, 8, 35-yard line. A shuttle pass. It should be incomplete. Unless, yep, it is. Incomplete pass off to Lewis. And that'll force a punt. You know, when you've got 2 penalties that knock out 2 separate touchdowns moments ago, it can take some wind out of your sails.
Well, when you're doing it yourself, and that was a nice job by Stills, I think he got in there, got a little hand on it. You know, when it's the other team that's inflicting the pain, it's one thing, but when you're the one inflicting the pain, it makes it a lot harder to take.
We're down, and Zastudil will punt. Dante Hall back at the 25. Fair catch. Zastudil's done a good job with Hall today.
Hall has in, how many punt return yards does he have?
Yeah.
About a handful, maybe.
Not many. 44-yard boot. Quiet day for Dante Hall.
And those return yards, -4 punt returns. That's a great job by Gary Zahner's special teams for the Baltimore Ravens. They have kept this weapon completely silent.
21-yard line, 2 tight ends for the Chiefs. 1st down and 10. Tennyson and Morton are the receivers. Morton's had a good day. Backfield, Priest Holmes. Here goes Holmes with the shield and complete block. He's thrown up on McAllister, knocked out of bounds by Ed Hartwell. At about the 23 and a gain of 2. 2nd down and 8. Base defense in there for Baltimore. Baxter is in the game in the secondary. 23-yard line. Green, down the middle he goes, and it's caught by Tennyson, tackled by Baxter, 39-yard line, and he's got a 1st down with the game 17 through the air.
Critical catch. Big day so far from Chad Morton. Kennison and Johnny Morton have done a job here today. They picked up the slack. Dante Hall's got 1 reverse. Tony Gonzalez has a couple catches, but the missing piece of this puzzle really has been the receivers, and today it's come to the game.
First down and 10 near the 40-yard line. 3 receivers out there. Clear Hickerson is up and out. Beautiful coming out by Ray Lewis. And a loss of about a yard on the play. There's Mike Singletary, the Hall of Famer with the Chicago Bears, who's the linebacker coach for the Ravens.
You know, when you study physics and things like that, don't they say that a negative plus a negative is a positive? Well, how about a positive and and 2 overamped, intense people like Mike Singletary and Ray Lewis working together. In fact, Singletary one day during training camp, Ray Lewis says, comes out, he's got on the helmet, the shoulder pads, and he's got the old Singletary eyes staring out from inside that face mask. Ray kind of shook his head and said, Coach, you need to get undressed.
39-yard line, second and 11. Dante hauls in, but this is Priest Holmes, who's tackled in open field by Baxter. Gain of 7. It'll be third down. The tackle made at about the 46-yard line.
Remember earlier in the game, at the very beginning, we talked about this being a day of, the running backs were the big story coming in here, and so far, really the defense has been a heck of a story because they're both way below the average, especially Jamal Lewis. Both defenses have done a very nice job.
Third down and 4. Hall is in the game. Blaylock in the backfield, 46-yard line. It's Green. Hit as he throws by Williams and overshoots. Kennison incomplete. It's fourth down in Kansas City's got a punt. The defense standing up tall for the Ravens.
You have to be impressed with the ability of this Ravens defense to just suck it up and make a play when they need to. Give up a little run to Priest Holmes. What do they need on that last one? They needed some pressure in Trent Green's face. Something that bothers all quarterbacks is exactly what they got, exactly when they needed it.
Baker's had one deflected today. Rifle back inside the 15-yard line for the Ravens. Good block by Hartz to keep the pressure away. Rifle. Oh, he runs into his own guy. Nice coverage by Bo Richter. 34-yard punt. And they'll take over close to the 20-yard line.
So you go to the sideline and you say, hey, anybody ever tell you how hard your butt is?
Oh, is that what they said?
Well, maybe in the films later, but everybody else on the sideline got a big kick out of it. Right about now, Rifle wants to know, how can they let that guy hit me? Where's your guy?
First down and 10. 21-yard line. Lewis in the backfield. He gets the call. And hit by Maslowski near the 24. Gain of 3. They've got Robinson and Taylor as receivers. Chiefs in their base defense. 24-yard line. Second and 7. It's Todd Heap on the move. And Jamal Lewis. By Bonnie Holiday. He slips free and there he goes. Warfield hanging on for dear life, and he carries him for a gain of 15 up to the 39-yard line and a Baltimore first down.
You don't need any more of an explanation than to watch that run as to why you cannot relax against Jamal Lewis. All I'm thinking before that play is, he's got like 18 carries probably for 40 yards, not much of an average, but even I almost kind of forgot about a back like this that can go from not much of an average to suddenly bang, one run, and goodness knows he had 105 and 2 carries against Cleveland to start that game. He can explode.
39-yard line, first and 10. And Lewis again, finding his seam and again bulldozing his way up into the grasp of Wesley. 14-yard pickup to the Kansas City 47-yard line. Another first down.
I mentioned the Denver Broncos tapes, Alex Gibbs tapes, backside blocks. Watch the backside of this play. Nice job by Flynn. Great job by Mulatalo. Excellent seal by Jonathan Ogden. That made that run. That created that hole. And when you said Jamal Lewis around air, you're asking for an explosive combination.
Consecutive carries of 15 yards and 14 yards by Jamal Lewis. That will close out the third quarter. The Chiefs on top on a touchdown pass. Green to Gonzalez at the end of 3. The Chiefs 10-3 over Baltimore. Now a word from your local CBS station. We start the fourth quarter with the first and 10. Baltimore on the move. 47-yard line. Lewis the fake. Heap on the end around. Chased by Trullo. And takes it head first into Wesley. Close to a first down near the Kansas City 37-yard line.
Let's talk a little bit about a front office doing a nice job on draft day the last couple of years. How about you pick up Todd Heap, you pick up Kyle Bowler, and you get Suggs in the deal there this year. You get 2 probably going into the draft top 10 players this year, and you add a Todd Heap. who is a unique player. I don't know if there's another player like him right now in the league. He's like Shannon Sharpe was a few years ago, when Mike Shanahan was really using him before he came to Baltimore. When Mike Shanahan was using him as a wide receiver, a slot receiver in the backfield Billick has got such a unique toy in Todd Heap, and such a dangerous thing for defenses to prepare for.
You see Arcal true luck in the game. Vonnie Holliday is out, groin pull. They don't know if he's going to return.
Well, that's been the history on Vonnie. He just
Injured.
Gets dinged up every once in a while. They're lucky to have a young athlete like Arcal. Arcal's very, very inexperienced, but you talk about a guy that can bring a little heat and speed on the outside. If you're an offensive coach for the Baltimore Ravens, you make note of this and maybe see if you can't take advantage of that aggressive nature up the field and the lack of girth and size working against Jonathan Ogden.
So 2nd and inches, 37-yard line. That's the rushing in this half. Lewis in the backfield. Heap is on the move. Rookie quarterback Kyle Bowler. Jamal Lewis. And digs his way to a first down. Middle of that line, Ryan Sims gets him. Gain of 3 and a first down. Well, let's take a look at our Lewis and Holmes comparison for today. This was the main story coming into the game.
Man, 34 of those 79 yards for Jamal Lewis are on this drive. He's starting to really get the pounding up front for his offensive line, and all Priest Holmes and that powerful offense for Kansas City can do right now is sit back and look.
1st and 10, 45-yard line. Lewis with the block from Ogden. Slides inside. Maslowski got him. Gain of 2 and to the 33-yard line.
We talk about how young and talented that Baltimore football team is, especially the defense. You know, a young talented guy for Kansas City is Ryan Sims, a defensive tackle inside, number 90. He came bolting across on that play, got himself a little penetration, and you saw Jamal Lewis tripped up there. The reason he was tripped up is number 90 was all over his calves.
2nd down, 7. Chester Taylor in the backfield for Baltimore. Here comes Bowler. Finding his receiver, Marcus Robinson, the ex-Chicago Bear, for a first down to the 23-yard line. It's a gain of 9. He was working on McCleon on the side.
You know, if you could visualize, I use the term all the time, throwing it through a porthole. Well, Bowler here puts it through a moving porthole. There's not a very big area for him to squeeze that in, but Robinson gets it, and nice throw. But Marcus Robinson, his biggest value, I think, when they signed him here to Baltimore was down the field. Those athletic catches, jumping for the ball, and they just haven't gotten it yet.
Base defense for the Chiefs. 8th play of the drive. There's a first down. Taylor remains in the game. Here comes Bowler, looking the other way and going deep and looking for the running back. Taylor, it's intercepted in the end zone by McCleon. 2 gigantic defensive plays last week in Houston, picking off Carr, and this one couldn't have come at a better time for the ex-St. Louis Ram. It's the 2nd turnover today by the Baltimore Ravens.
All the pain for Baltimore is self-inflicted. 2 big penalties, 1 bad pass.
Chiefs have had at least 2 interceptions in every game this season. McCleon, who played for Dick Vermeil in St. Louis, brought in this offseason, taking the place of the injured guard team. On the 20 on the touchback, 1st and 10. Priest Holmes, blocked from Tate, brought down in the middle. Looked like Ray Lewis was in there, gain of 5. And they marked the ball at the 25-yard line.
Well, here's Chester Taylor at halfback, circles out and wants to run just deep into the end zone. Watch McCleon. Here he is right there on the outside. He keeps that outside position. Bowler's throwing for the pylon in the corner, and Chester Taylor's just running right straight down to the sideline, right straight down the end zone.
2nd down, 5, 25-yard line. Holmes in the backfield. Base 34 defense for the Ravens. Green, great time, flips it out to Holmes. Blocked by Wigman. Holmes brought down. There goes a flag. Baxter smelled it out, read it well. And the flag is on Kansas City's offense.
Holding. Offense. Number 62. Penalties decline. 3rd down.
You know, Dick Vermeil's a big stats guy. But I tell you one stat I look at, and you want to see here an explanation as to why this team has done so much better this year. Last year, there's Wegman. But last year, this football team had 1 interception all season long. Through 4 games so far, 8 interceptions. How do you want a formula for 3-0, maybe 4-0? That'd be a heck of a start.
6 defensive backs, 3rd and 11. Richardson in the backfield. Dante Hall's in the game. Green hit and sacked, devoured by the sensational rookie from Arizona State, Terrell Suggs. It's the 3rd sack by Baltimore's defense today.
And for Suggs, that's 4 sacks in his first 4 games. Here's a young guy they drafted this year. First #1 draft pick. Look at the speed and technique. Working against John Tate, headbutt right through. He can be physical, he can be fast. He started the year as a linebacker, started working with the D-line 4 weeks ago. Result, 4 sacks.
Baker will punt. Ed Reed is deep back. And Reed, 43-yard line. Brought down by Fred Jones. 45-yard line of Kansas City. 13-yard return. 45-yard punt. Baltimore's got momentum and they've got life, down by 7. Green has thrown a touchdown pass to Tony Gonzalez. Bowler's been picked off twice by the Chiefs. Second start in Kansas City territory. First down and 10. Here comes Lewis. Bulldozing his way into the grasp of Fujita. Into the secondary. Grabbed by Wesley. 17-yard gain to the Kansas City 27-yard line. A first down.
Pretty simple formula. Start here and look for the backside cut hole. You're getting a nice block by Edwin Mulatalo, a seal off by Jonathan Ogden. They are working this backside blocking technique to perfection in the second half from Jamal Lewis. Excellent technique.
99 yards in the ground for Lewis today. First and 10, 27-yard line. Ricard in motion. Pitch out to Lewis. Brown with a pull and a tackle made by Barber. Along with Hicks. A loss on the play of 3 yards. And they'll move it back to the 30-yard line.
You know, something to remember here, folks, is Kyle Bowler's the rookie, and they said they're going to take their shots. Well, he's paid about every time he's taken his shot. In the first quarter, he paid with that one, and he just paid on the last possession right there where McLeon got him. But one thing that Baltimore mentioned is that Kansas City has not faced a physical team like us. Second half, they may wear down, and right now they are wearing him down with that line in Jamal Lewis.
Second and 13, 30-yard line, Lewis again. Here he goes, pounding his way up the middle. Grabbed by Fujita. Hit by Wesley, close to a first down as he rambles his way to the 17-yard line.
Well, we're talking about Ogden, Mulatello, and Flynn. Watch those 3 linemen. Nice job by the entire offensive line. Good read by Jamal Lewis. I talked about the clinic by the Baltimore defense in the first half. I tell you, this offensive line and Jamal Lewis as he goes over 100 yards again for the 3rd straight week.
3rd down 1. Chester Taylor in the backfield, 18-yard line. Taylor with Ricard and Ogden blocking. And Taylor wiggles his way for 5 yards. Picks up another Baltimore first down to the Kansas City 13-yard line. Trueluck there with the tackle. Two first-place ball clubs going head-to-head. Pittsburgh lost today. Baltimore's alone in first in the AFC North, and Kansas City and Denver tied coming into today for first in the AFC West.
You've been burned by the long pass with interceptions. Best formula, be conservative with the passing game and pound them with Jamal Lewis.
Lewis is out now. They got Taylor in the backfield. First and 10. This is Taylor against the grain and diving to the 8-yard line. Tackled by Fujita. It's a gain of 5.
There's nothing more up front going on right now than you pick out your guy, I'm going to get my guy, and we're just going to pound on him because Brian Billick is done being cute. Matt Cavanaugh has seen enough cute. The offensive coaches for Baltimore have decided it's time for this offensive line to earn lunch today and pound on this defense a little.
Second down, 5. Vonnie Holiday back on the defensive line. Backfield of Jamal Lewis, 8-yard line. This is Jamal Lewis. And skipping his way near the 5-yard line and grabbed by Eddie Freeman. Also hit by Sean Barber. And picks up 2 near the 5. 3rd and 3.
If you're a coach in this situation and your defense is on the field like Dick Vermeil is right now, it's a pretty helpless situation. You know Brian Billick and his staff are just saying one thing. We're more physical than you. We can drive block you. And our running back is better than your front 7.
3rd down, short 3 at the 6. Lewis again. Gigantic hole as he corkscrews his way near the 2. He'll be close to a first down. Very close. Remember now, Baltimore has had it here, Randy, a couple times today, and all they've gotten are 3 points.
And all they've really gotten out of this is a couple brain cramps. They've had penalties, and they've really shot themselves in the foot at times by trying to be too cute. But like I just said, I think Brian Billick's done being cute. It's kind of like the boxer that wanted to dance and decided, I'm through dancing, I'm going to start punching.
They got it by the nose of the football. They got it 1st and goal. The last time they had it here, they got 2 separate touchdowns. Both were called back by penalties.
Just watch the purple surge up front and the backside blocks. Folks, they decided to emphasize it this year in Baltimore. And I know in week 4, that emphasis in training camp in the offseason has paid huge dividends, because especially that left side with Ogden Mulatalo has really figured it out.
Chester Taylor in the backfield. Ricard in motion. 1st and goal. They got Monty Beisel in there now as a goal line linebacker. Tackle made by Barber and Browning. It'll be 2nd down and goal. 8th consecutive runs by the Baltimore Ravens.
This is a situation, if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you've got Ryan Sims inside, you've got Browning inside. You really miss another great big physical presence, especially over that big left side of the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think there's much of a fooling anybody here. You know where this ball is going to go. It's going to go behind Ogden.
Lewis back in the game, 2nd down, ball at the 2. He lost his shoe, and Bowler throws into the end zone and out of the end zone. Incomplete. Flag is down. He was coming out of there so fast he lost his shoe. And the penalty looks to be against Kansas City.
Holding defense. Number 51. After this automatic first down.
Well, I tell you one thing, Brian Billick and Baltimore kind of got away with trying to be cute there, because Fujita, number 51, the linebacker, basically tackles Todd Heap. That's, that's just about tackling.
Now 1st and goal at the 1.
You know your quarterback's got some elusive ability. He's going to run out of a shoe.
3 tight ends. Lewis in the backfield. It's Jamal Lewis. And he flies into the end zone for a touchdown. And Baltimore has come to within a point with 5:27 to play.
Well, Kyle Bowler's parents, Bob and Karen Bowler, love what they just saw their young quarterback son do in his offense. And you know what it was? They quit being cute. They just smashed it right down Kansas City's throat.
Extra point to tie the game from Matt Stover. Sextadil with the hole. And we are tied, and this is the first time this season the Chiefs and Coach Dick Vermeil have been involved in a tight ball game. They come in first place, undefeated. 1 of 6 coming into today in the NFL. That 5-minute touchdown drive by Baltimore. Jamal Lewis averaged 5 yards a carry. They tie the game at 10, 5.5 to play in regulation. Wayne Ritchie to kick off. They got Blaylock and Hall deep back, and the number 1 kickoff return man in the NFL from the 5. Dante Hall. Blaylock with the block. And down he goes. Will Demps corrals him at the 16-yard line. 12-yard return.
I'm going to say it again. What a great job of coverage by this special teams unit against Stick for Mills' secret weapon, Dante Hall.
Kick.
Penalty on the play, and it was on Baltimore. They'll re-kick it. It's been that kind of afternoon for Coach Brian Billick. You mentioned before, 2 penalties, wiped out 2 separate touchdowns on the same drive for his offense.
Sometimes you got to overcome yourself. Now Wade Ritchie has got one heck of a leg, but if I'm Dante Hall and I'm the return team for Kansas City, I've got my single golden opportunity right here for a return.
For 2 consecutive weeks, Dante Hall has been the AFC Special Teams Player of the Week. He's got 5 touchdown returns in the last 8 games dating back to last year.
We've seen him jittering, and we've seen him kind of cutting. Just go. Don't guess. Just go.
Ritchie's kick, 4-yard line for Dante Hall. Finds a seam. Gets by the kicker, and there he goes. This is unbelievable. 97-yard kickoff return, and the Chiefs are back on top. There's his mom, Carolyn, on the left.
We're in the 82 Pro Bowl jersey that Dante wore last January.
6 return touchdowns in the last 9 games. A historic stretch that the NFL probably has never seen before.
In that case, Brian Billick's coverage team could not overcome themselves. Now you know why they call that a golden opportunity. It might be the only golden opportunity they get today for a return, and they took advantage of it.
We've seen a lot of NFL football, but we have not seen a kid do this. The extra point by Anderson is in. He's returned 2 kickoffs for touchdowns this year. A punt return for a touchdown. But this was at the most opportune of times.
Not many moves, just a lot of speed and a lot of go.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Old Navy Painter's Pants. They'll work for you. And by Snickers. Log on to Snickers.com and vote for the Snickers Hungriest Player. Win a trip to the Super Bowl every week.
Among the most stunning performances in the history of this league in his last 9 games, 6 kick returns for touchdowns. As his mom watches here in Baltimore today, he returned a punt for a touchdown last week in Houston. And Randy, you called it. You said, don't dance, just run right up the middle.
Every other time he had made moves and tried to cut, he just got it and went.
Baker's subsequent kickoff. Chester Taylor. Tackled by Beisel, flag on the play. It is against Baltimore. And how big was that Baltimore penalty on the first kickoff that forced him to kick off again?
Holding, receiving team, number 88, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, the first kickoff was announced as a holding penalty against the kickoff team. Dante Hall was stuffed. He was done being stuffed. And this is why with a kick returner you can stop him 9 out of 10 times. But the 10th time he drives a stake through your heart.
So now Baltimore, and let's see what they've got left in their tank. 5 minutes to play. Worst starting position today. First down and 10. Jamal Lewis blocked by Ogden. Holiday was there with the last part of that stop, but Maslowski again comes over and makes the grab. Gain of 1, and they spot the ball at the 12.
Well, that tells you the value of a special team weapon like a Dante Hall. You can be dominated in yards, you can be dominated in minutes, and you can have a 7-point lead.
Chiefs have their base defense in, second down 9. 12-yard line. Deep on the move. And boom. Here comes Hicks. Outside recall. Drops it. 15-yard line covered by Woods. It'll be 3rd and 9. The running attack coming into today of the Ravens, number 1 in the NFL. The passing attack, dead last, number 32 in the league.
That's part of having a rookie quarterback and part of protecting your rookie quarterback. But as much of a growth opportunity as the pummeling Bowler took in week 1 against Pittsburgh when they had to throw down like that, this is another huge growth opportunity and learning lessons right here on this series.
Taylor in the offensive backfield. 3rd down 9 from the 12. Bowler on the run. Running out of real estate, chased by Hicks and shoved out of bounds by Fujita. Lock at 4:15. And now it'll be 4th down. And they will indeed punt the ball. Here comes Dante Hall. But it's also interesting, too, in that kickoff return. This is the number 1 kickoff return defense in the NFL of Baltimore. That Hall just shredded. Zastudil to punt, and Hall is back at the 45-yard line for the Chiefs. Almost blocked. Omar Easy got in there, and Zastudil's punt waved off by Hall. He did the same thing last week in Houston.
He made a fair catch there.
Okay.
He waved it off below his waist in Houston.
Well, this is not the first time we've seen the heroics from Hall. Returned a first quarter kickoff 100 yards week 2 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then Houston week 3 last week, returning a third quarter punt 73 yards for a touchdown. But his return today of 97 yards may keep the Chiefs in first place, undefeated, and give them a win in a very tough place for an opposing team to notch a victory.
Well, for 2003, they might retire the AFC Special Teams Player of the Week award.
Johnny Morton has not caught a pass in the second half. Holmes in the backfield. 21-yard line, 1st and 10 for Green. And this is Priest Holmes. Into the middle, Kelly Gregg makes the stop. Gain of 3 up to the 23-yard line. Right here on CBS, America's most watched network. 2nd down 7. 24-yard line. And off to Holmes. He works his way to the 25. Grabbed by Weaver and by Ed Hartwell. Gain of a yard. Baltimore thought there was some movement on that Kansas City side of the ball.
Baltimore's trying to create something. That's their job right now as a defense. Your job is to rip at the ball, try to get Dick Vermeil's offense to jump offside, try to make something happen. You desperately need to produce a turnover for the Baltimore Ravens from the defense right now.
3rd down and 6. Holmes remains. Morton, Bo Richter, and Kinnison are the receivers. Nickel secondary. Here comes the blitz by Reed. Picked up by Gonzalez. Down the side they go for Morton. And intercepted and dropped by Fuller. But Kansas City's got a punt, and that's all that Baltimore wanted to try to do.
And Trent Green trying to get that ball to Johnny Morton. Remember, he had 5 catches for 73 yards in the first half. Nothing so far in this second half, and that was the turnover that Baltimore needed, but Fuller got that head around a little bit late and couldn't handle it.
Second consecutive 3 and out for the Chiefs. Ed Reed is deep back. Baker set the punt inside his 15. It's Reed on the fly. Dropped the ball and it's loose, and the Chiefs have recovered, and Mark Bullwicker tumbles ahead. It's the 3rd Baltimore turnover today. And that may bury the Ravens with 2:21 to play.
Well, when they go in the locker room and they want to find out why they lost, they can just look into the mirror, because everything that's happened bad has been self-inflicted for the Baltimore Ravens. Ed Reed had no business trying to get this short as it was. You can't just try to catch it at the shoelaces. If it's that low, you got to dive and cover it, make sure you got it.
So interceptions by McLeon and by Wesley. Fumble recovery right there by Mark Boerichter. Touchdown pass to Gonzalez of a yard. And the Ravens are -3 in the takeaway giveaway today. 1st and 10, Priest Holmes, Richardson with the block. And Ray Lewis is there to wrap him up and back to the line of scrimmage, and a loss in the play of 4. Back to the 44. Baltimore will burn their first time out. All right, Jim, thank you very much. Marty Schottenheimer, he beat him when he was the coach of the Chiefs, the Raiders. It looks like he's going to beat him today as the coach of the Chargers in Oakland.
Is that loud sound I just heard, the Raiders imploding? Wow.
Green today, throwing for Kansas City, 17 of 28, 159. Ball back in the game.
Well, nothing real complicated here. If you're Dick Vermeil and Mike Singletary, the linebacker coach, knows that the offense for Kansas City is just going to be all about staying in bounds, being conservative, and probably featuring Priest Holmes.
2nd and 15, 44-yard line. Pitch out to Holmes, end around. Ball blocked by Green. Sniffed out beautifully on the play by Reed and Douglas and Boulware. Baltimore will call a timeout. 2:08 to play. 13-yard loss on the play.
Well, see, there you go. Baltimore's not the only one that can try to be too cute. You got to wonder why in the heck you're running a reverse in that situation. You've got a touchdown lead. You got one of the best running backs, if not the best offensive weapon in the NFL, in Priest Holmes. I guess you're thinking it might seal the deal, but all it did right there was give an adrenaline boost to this crowd and to this defense.
3rd down and 28, back at the 44 will be the situation. Numbers on Green, numbers on Holmes. Jamal Lewis with the 81 for Holmes. Jamal Lewis, 115 yards on the ground for the Ravens today.
That's one thing. We keep mentioning the youth of the Baltimore defense. They don't know the tight spot they're in. They're going to keep fighting to the last breath.
3rd and 28, 44-yard line. Hall is in with Holmes, who gets the call. Dances with Boulware. What a move by Holmes to get free. Still on his feet and brought down by Terrell Suggs, which takes us to the 2-minute warning. 8-yard gain. 4th down. Kansas City's got a punt. The 2-minute warning from Baltimore. Dante Hall's 97-yard kickoff return broke a 10-10 tie. Chiefs have got a punt. 2-minute warning. Ed Reed back at the 10. He bobbled it the last time, and the Chiefs got it. And we'll have to talk some strategy here in Baltimore. What they can do with one timeout. Maybe look at Dante Hall. Baker's punt. Great hang time as he fires up a rocket. Leads the catch at the 18 and brought down immediately. 29-yard punt. Tackle by Stills. Let's go to New York and Jim Nance.
All right. Yeah, Jim, just what that offense needed is a little of that speed that Alvis Whitted brings. Without Porter and without Garner, that's what's been killing that offense. No speed to get the deep threat.
17-yard line, 1st and 10. The rookie quarterback being chased, gets away from Hicks, runs out of the pocket, being chased by Trueluck and throws complete down the side. 2nd down and 10.
I tell you one thing I would add, if I was...
There was a flag thrown on the sideline.
That late hit on
hit by
Defense,
Trueluck, yes.
number 91.
We could not see the flag, and the officials had to confer, so it was a delayed call, but indeed they make it. And Trueluck was the one.
Just that little extra push on the back. Yeah, that is not very smart. Some could say that's kind of ticky-tack, but I'll tell you what, quarterback's that far out of bounds, you just don't push him. I mean, you had no reason to touch him.
He's in for Holiday right now. 1st and 10, 32-yard line. One timeout for the Ravens, 3 for the Chiefs. Bowler throws, and it's caught. He grabbed at the 40-yard line. Fujita with the tackle. Along with Barber, gain of 8 to the 40-yard line.
Plenty of time. Here's where you want to have your quarterback and your offense move quickly, but don't rush.
Second down and a couple with the timeout. Bull sets up again. Fires to the near side. One hops it off to Travis Taylor. Third down and 2.
We asked you about a little strategy and what do you do in this situation? Well, it's really pretty simple. You've got to throw it. You've got to throw it every down. It takes your best weapon out of your hands. Because your best weapon is Jamal Lewis.
He's in the backfield, third down and 2 from the 40. Nickel defense for the Chiefs. Nice catch made by Taylor. A gain of 5 and a first down at the 44-yard line.
Plenty of time. A minute 5, a minute is an eternity in this league.
And spikes it, second down and 10. And again, the Chiefs playing the nickel with the nickel back, Shenard Harts. Well, here's the thing that turned this thing from a 10-10 tie to a Chiefs 7-point lead.
Well, brought a purple wave of momentum to a screeching halt.
Chester Taylor in the backfield, second down and 10. 4 receivers, including the tight end Heap. Bowler quickly to the side, right through the hands of receiver Frank Sanders. Coverage by Woods. McLeon was there. Incomplete pass. Third down and 10.
Tell you what, that looked a little bit early from the naked eye live angle. McLeon breaks. That's just good defense. That left hand got in there and knocked it away. You know, if Sanders isn't in there complaining to the official immediately, you know it can't be that bad of a call.
Baltimore with the timeout, 45-yard line, third down and 10. They haven't completed a long third down all day long. There's a pass, and it's caught by Taylor. They may have just gotten it right there as he dives in the grasp of Barber for a gain of 10. And the spot will be right on the Kansas City 45. Again, there is a timeout remaining. And they're going to stop the clock for a measurement, I believe. Yep, they're going to stop the clock for a measurement, which is great for Baltimore. And they want to have 3 more seconds on the clock. But this is very lucky for the Ravens.
Well, it's going to be, if it is a first down, it's by a nose. I know one thing, you've got to be right there ready to go with 2 plays called in the huddle, and it's a first down for the Ravens.
No time will be put on the clock. It is a first down. 45-yard line. 1 timeout remaining for Bowler. 3 receivers. Taylor in the backfield. Bowler again. Chased by Browning, hit by Fujita, and gets wisely out of bounds, crashing into the bench. It's a gain of 1. Now let's see if Bowler's going to get up okay. He does. That was his college teammate Fujita at Cal. He looks like he's hurt.
Yeah, look at his right hand as it goes into the bench, into the leg of that bench right there. His right forearm in the elbow area. He is hurting.
So he took over at the 17 with the .52 to play. 8th play of the drive. 36 seconds remaining. Second down and 9.
Back of his elbow is bleeding from where it hit that metal bench.
Taylor in the backfield. Bowler winding up and going deep and looking down the side for Heap. McLeon with the interception. His second today, deep in his own zone. This at the 3-yard line. That's the 4th turnover today by the Baltimore Ravens. And Dexter McLeon has put this game on ice for the Chiefs.
Todd Heap was flanked out as a wide receiver at the top of the screen. Remember the first interception early in the game? Deep down the field to Todd Heap. This is deja vu. Todd Heap trips. Dexter McLeon keeps his concentration on the ball. Right about now, McLeon turns into an offensive player. 2 feet, both inbounds. That's just execution, and that's just par for the course for Brian Billick's Ravens today.
McLeon has 3 interceptions in the last 2 games. 2 today at a very maligned cornerback position, taking the place of the usual starter, William Bartine.
And remember, this is a defense that was ranked at the bottom of the league last year, didn't have many interceptions, didn't have many turnovers. And Dick Vermeil's offense has got all the attention, but Greg Robinson's defense has been a huge factor in the first 4 weeks, and especially this week.
Win number 100 for Dick Vermeil in his coaching career in the National Football League.
In fact, they've already got a ball all painted up for him. He'll be getting that when he gets into the locker room later today. And Dante Hall, quite a performance for that 100th win for Dick Vermeil.
For Randy Cross, Kevin Harlan saying so long from Baltimore with the final score. The Chiefs 17, Baltimore 10. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes followed by Cold Case in the CBS Sunday movie 12 Mile Road. Over 100 yards for Jamal Lewis, but the big story of the day, Dante Hall, 97-yard kickoff return. And the Chiefs remain unbeaten at 4-0, their best start since '96. You've been watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 38.